This conference will now be recorded.
I got 6 o'clock, let's go in order, start the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we go into the meeting, I gotta have the person that's on Zoom meeting identify themselves, please.
You want to unmute your.
Say it again.
The person that's on the Zoom meeting, need them to identify themselves, please.
We can see Holly and Mike, but there's one that's not identifiable.
Do we have to kick them off if they don't, or do we just proceed?
I don't know. Ask Mike.
Mike, Flaherty, do we have to keep them on the meeting, or can we kick them off if they don't identify themselves?
I don't know. I don't know if you can kick people out if they don't identify themselves. But if you have a public forum and they want to speak, they would have to identify themselves.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds
Pursuant
good.
to your rules, usually it's like a name and an address. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
You just have to put unknown member or unknown in the minutes.
Perfect. We do have one change to the council meeting, 6D. Instead of revised the water billing ordinance, we just need to say revised utility ordinance. So that's the only amendment we need to change on the council agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0-0. We'll open public comment portions. Individuals may address the city council about any items of concerns. Speakers must state their name and limit the remarks to 3 minutes. Public, John.
Yep.
You have one for me, John?
What?
You got one for me?
No. I only had one for Joe, and I guess enough, but she ain't here, so. I guess my first question is, has the city had any complaints about the shed I built last year?
I have not had any. Miles? No?
I get, not weekly, but very often I get compliments how well it looks. And I'm always reminded how much of a hassle I went through with the city to build it. People wonder why the city was so difficult letting me get this thing built. And, so I'm asking the city council to reimburse my legal fees that I incurred doing it. Just because it wasn't right. And my biggest concern is it's gonna happen to someone else, because it almost seems like the city just wanted to sweep it under the rug and forget about it. So I made some notes about what happened, some of my past letters to the city. You guys can read it over, talking amongst yourselves. I talked to Joan a couple times about this. She tried contacting the League of Cities attorney, and he didn't want to answer any questions for whatever reason. He thought it was a done deal. But I thought you should at least know what the city did wrong. Because in my opinion, they weren't following the rules. They didn't know the rules. They didn't think they had to follow the rules. And, I guess that's why I'm here, just to, let they answer any questions. You'll have to look it over, and I can talk to you another time about it. There's more details I didn't write in there. But, it's kind of basically what happened, and so that's my spiel, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to say that it should be noted that there were attorneys involved in this and has been fully litigated and settled. Mike Flaherty, I'm guessing that any comment would need to go through attorneys, but it's been a settled case, so.
You know, even the settlement, you're finding the facts weren't accurate. So It just seemed like the city wanted to cover it up. So I don't want this to happen to somebody else down the road either. So I don't ain't much I can do about it. It's a done deal. I had about $30,000 in legal fees. And in the 4 years I was screwing around with this, with the city, the price of the shed went up 20 grand. So it hasn't been a real happy experience with me building that shed. And I didn't get near the enjoyment out of it I thought I would. I'm glad I built it. I stuck my ground to do what I thought was right. But it cost me. So that's all I got. Unless you got some questions.
Council have any questions?
I'll have to read this over before I
I
have any
can go do this
questions.
and see if we have any
I was
questions.
talking to Joe and it didn't seem like the city council was really aware of what all went on. She didn't have a lot. Fred, you're on the planning and zoning committee, right? Yep, Joan was. Did you have any training when you got on it? Training? Training, no, you just take the word of city hall and they give you information on it. and-
Well, we do research on it.
I know that, but,
They tell us and then we check into stuff.
yeah, so, no, that's what,
It's not like we just,
no, I know. But that's one of the questions I had. So. Maybe you think I'm crazy for being here, but I just want to get off my mind and go from there. If I don't hear from you, I guess I won't be surprised. So, any other questions?
Nope.
Right now.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Any more public comments? I will close public comment portion and we'll jump to consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless council member requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and be considered in its normal sequence on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0-0. Accounts payable, Bob.
Most things were very normal. The only one I wanted to highlight was 82,937 for ABDO LLP for the audit fees of $18,500. And the question I had for Kim, they've had the audit. Do you know when we'll have the results or if they'll present anything? or-
They'll have results of the second meeting.
Right.
And they bill in four sections. The first one is a quarter of it. So they bill for half during the audit and then a quarter when they're done.
Okay.
So, yep.
There's no other questions. I'd make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $70,360.41.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0-0. Thanks, Bob. New business. Three Rivers Community Action Presentation. Let's go, Tracy.
Let me get it up here. Let's see.
So I'm Tracy Borchak, I'm one of the transportation co-directors with Three Rivers Community Action. We provide the public transit here in Zumbrota and just wanted to come into a presentation. Just kind of little history of transit and look at numbers of what we've done here in Zumbrota over the past, I think I went back to 2019 so we could see pre-COVID numbers and just a little bit of information. You want to go to the next slide? Yes. So this just shows a map of all the rural transit systems within the state of Minnesota. There's 40 across 87 counties. And there's different, like you won't see the Metro Transit. So up in the cities, Rochester, like Duluth, they have the bigger ones. This is just focused on rural. You want to go to the next one. Rural transit started in Minnesota in the 1990s. Three Rivers applied and received their first grant in 97, and Hiawatha Lane Transit was born with that first grant. We started service in Lake City and have just grown from there. You can actually go to the next one. And over the years, we have, if you want to go one more, Brian. Over the years, we've grown to serve these communities. So we have Plainview, Elgin, Waukesha, Kellogg, Lake City, Northfield, Faribault, Red Wing, Zumbrota, Mazeppa, Pine Island, and Cannon Falls. And across all of these service areas, we offer a demand response service, as well as the deviated routes, which operate in our 3 larger towns. Deviated route is the only way that we can provide a route service with rural transit, and our contract with MnDOT. And then they do have standards that they'd like to see us meet with each of those services. So with the demand response, which is like what we serve this area with, they want to see 3 rides per hour. And in our route towns, they'd like to see 8. We can go to the next one. So here's the stats for Zumbrota. I started in 2019 just to kind of see where we were pre-COVID and then like where we are now. Obviously not back to those numbers. If we look at 2025, we're just below, if we look at the average for the whole entire year, we are below that 3 rides per hour average that they'd like to see. And then looking at the ridership out of that, just over 5,000 rides that we did, over 4,000 of them are kiddo rides. So somebody under the age of 18. We do quite a bit of transportation for the preschool. We also provide transportation to and from Head Start. And that's where the majority of the rides do come from. And we are working on marketing strategies, we have a transportation trainer and he also does rider education. So he's partnering up with our older adults program within Three Rivers to get out and just bring awareness. It seems like either you get into some of the bigger communities and they think that public transit is only for seniors or, you have to be disabled in order to use it. And then you get to these smaller communities and they see a lot of kiddos riding our bus and then they figure that it's just for preschool age children and it's not there for other individuals. So just really bringing that awareness to what we are. And you can go to this one. This just shows 25 versus 26 first quarter. Looking at the stats here, our rides per hour are averaging above that 3 rides per hour. So that's a good trend to be on for this year. And we're hoping that we'll continue that. And everything else is pretty status quo for what we would expect from last year to this year. And then the big thing, we've offered pool rides the last few years while you guys are working to get the pool up and going here in Zumbrota and look to offer that again this summer. Last year, we provided 145 rides to or from the pool in Pine Island. And I have talked with their city administrator who's confirmed with the pool staff that sticking with that Tuesday to Friday is a great option again this year. They were really heavily used by their school childcare program on Mondays, so they don't want to hit capacity and have to turn the kiddos away that we bring over on the bus or anyone for that matter that rides our bus over. So we would look at starting that. I believe they open on the 8th, so we would start the 9th of June and go through the 20th of August. If you guys have any feedback on stop locations, we've, ever since we started, we did the Christ Lutheran Church parking lot, the actual pool parking lot here in town, and then the Zumbrota School. If there's other areas that you feel would be more heavily utilized if we stopped in those locations, we're definitely open to feedback on that. We tried to keep them kind of central where, on each side of Main Street because it's not great for the kiddos to be crossing Main Street and with how busy it is. But once we have that all finalized, we can get these posters up. We'll get them advertised on our social media. I'll share them with the city as well as Pine Island, and then we'll get posters hung up around town. So if that's good with you guys to stick with these spots, or we would, like I said, open to looking at other locations if you'd like us to.
My question would be the pool, since construction will be going on this year, is the pool the best location? Because I assume they're gonna block that whole parking lot off. I mean, if we did it in Covered Bridge Park or something, I don't know if we want kids running around a construction site just because there would be heavier equipment would be my question or my concern on that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I would agree. That's not a great spot for us to have kiddos. Yeah, we could switch and do probably like that main parking area at the park that's right up from the picnic area and the
Volleyball
playground.
carts or something, I mean, does that work for you? I mean, would that work better than?
Yeah, also, just adjacent from there, you could do the Vail commuter lot too, at the softball field or something. There was some parking, anything like that is.
Do
kids walk to the bus or do they get dropped off or, I
I
mean,
think they're walking.
yeah, so we kind of want to keep it on this side probably.
And I would think all the kids going to the pool pickup could walk
A little extra.
200 more yards and get into the covered bridge would be my.
Yeah, we can definitely
I
make
mean,
that
at least
change.
look at her, talk to Jeff or Brian to just, or
Yeah, that's a good point because that whole parking lot will be closed off. It'll be full of
I
staging.
mean, and then if you
everything
get dump trucks hauling stuff out
Mhm.
or cement trucks, it's just.
else.
Okay. And do you think that Christ Lutheran, is that a good location or should we try to get down somewhere closer to, I definitely do not want to go into the Quick Trip parking lot. I hate going in there in my personal vehicle, let alone to take a bus and have kids in there, but is there a different, like, should we try to get more down on that end of town or would it,
Yeah, I
do you
don't
think that
know
that's
where
a-
else you'd be? Priggy's parking lot?
well, or even the church parking lot down there too? I just don't,
Saviors,
yeah,
yeah.
our Saviors.
Yeah,
Or East Park,
But
I mean,
it's
I don't
pretty-
know where the kids are coming from. East Park is
That's right,
more
yeah, I don't know
central.
either.
yeah, I mean, Christ Lutheran is kind of more central to that side of town, so.
And maybe we could add, we could do the East Park side of Christ Lutheran, just to kind of make it so that it's an easy location to identify, and then we could do our Savior's parking lot. Because I feel like there's a lot of houses up there on that end of town, a lot of kiddos in that area, so, okay, we'll add a fourth stop.
Great.
Okay. Perfect. And then, yeah, we'll stick with those same times. It works great with the open swim.
And then we had a cost share in past years
Yep,
with the park board. Are you looking for that
yep,
same?
yeah, if that,
Was it $500?
yep, 500, and then we would take on whatever is above and beyond that. So typically if we go in between towns, it's a $5 one-way trip. We know that that's a lot to ask per rider, and especially, but being that we're gonna send this bus every day to these locations, we're not gonna require anybody to call in ahead of time. The bus is gonna be there every day at the published times, and we'll be at the pool for the published return, so no matter what. So if that works, we will get those posters made and get it advertised.
Did they already approve it? Oh, good. I was just gonna tell you to help me remind me that we gotta get it on there, but if it's already done. Good.
Yeah, so that is all that I have. If anybody has any other questions on transit or what we do, I'm more than happy to answer, but that's, I didn't quite stick to the minute and a half, but.
good.
Was that it?
Yeah, so she had a minute and a half. Any questions for Tracy?
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. We love Three Rivers and it's been a bonus for town, so
Oh, yeah.
thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's jump to 6B, Planning Commission appointments. Miles.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we received 3 applications for 2 open spots on the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission voted to approve the applications from Peter Lawson and Jessica Simpson. So kind of looking forward to move on that and have a full Planning Commission for the first time since I've been here. So it'll be exciting. We're really excited we got 3 applications for the 2 spots because we hadn't had any applications the whole time I've been here. So that was a big step in the right direction and they kind of just popped out of nowhere. So pretty excited about it.
You got 3 applications and I see that the 2 that you're going with, reasoning thereof, or is the other application available to read or see, or?
I have the other application if you want to see it, but frankly, 2 people showed up to the Planning Commission meeting out of the 3 applicants
Okay.
and they chose the 2 that were there, I guess. So that was, yeah, and that's how we've done it. I mean, even the code committee, when we've had 2 applications for an open spot and 1 person shows up, that's the one we're picking. Todd and Kevin, I think, can both attest to that. So it was just, and I told them all beforehand, like, hey, they're probably going to pick who's there. They gave them a chance to speak and everything as well. I thought all 3 of them were going to be there, but again, just, make it easy for them. And they just chose the 2 that were there. So, but if you want to see the application, I can send that too.
I'll make a motion to approve the two for the planning commission.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0-0. Thanks, Miles and the Planning Commission. Resolution 2026-18, final plat for the MTM addition on St. Paul Road. Miles.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we've received the final plat application materials from Bolton and Mank Engineering for the addition going on St. Paul Road, or at 612 St. Paul Road, the big open lot. We previously visited this with the preliminary plat, I believe last meeting or the meeting before, and we voted to approve it. The plat is to create 5 single-family home lots on the development property. There's currently no builder attached to constructing these lots. It's merely to do the subdivision of it per our subdivision ordinance. Because it is greater than 5 acres, it needs to do this whole process. So that's kind of why we're here. And we are currently in the process of putting together a development agreement. It is currently in the hands of the developer right now. So we'll kind of be awaiting that and hearing back on that for the next council meeting. And basically this agreement is going to be a lot shorter than the other 2 we've seen this year. But it's basically just to address the future public improvements of the site, particularly the road, because that's not done. Currently, there won't be any public improvements constructed or initially. The only thing that will be done is that they will need to, like those particular sites will need to hook into the existing water and sewer utilities, but those are already there on the road because of the other side of the road. So they just need to hook into it like normal. And yeah, so we're just looking for next steps on this one, and you'll see the development agreement as it progresses here.
Is this going to address some of the curbs pavement part, or is that a whole nother topic for a different day?
Kind of. I mean, we are going to be addressing future assessment ability, just because we want to make sure that they can't waive the right to appeal an assessment or yeah, I guess it was just to basically appeal an assessment on that side of the road. And also that the developer will need to pay off the current special assessment that's there, or the remaining balance of such thing as well. But it doesn't go into particulars of when any public improvements may be constructed, just because we don't really know the answers to those things, just because we weren't planning to do them. So we're basically just trying to find a way where we can protect the future interest of the city and taxpayers while also moving this forward in a positive manner.
Jeff McWaters that lives over there, is it paved from his house toward that way already, or is it gravel?
Where's McGuire?
He's past, almost by Schumacher's. It's not paved there.
No,
It's
that
not
way.
from McWaters, it's not paved? Oh, I thought it was paved somewhere where, what is there, 4 or 5 townhouses on the left side? It's not, okay.
I think it actually, I just sent that warrant.
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was paved just at them 4 or 5 townhomes are there, but it's not.
Yeah, and part of the issue is we need to fit it in somewhere at some point, so we can't commit to any time of doing that. And they knew that, they know that.
Yeah.
They want to move forward and, we allowed the other side to move forward, so knowing that we're going to put curb and gutter in at some point, that's the verbiage about the assessments, the future assessments, and agreeing not to contest those assessments. So 5 more lots right by the river, and we'll pave and curb and gutter that road as soon as we can.
I know it's not our deal, but when they sell them lots, are they making this clear to the owners that when they build this, and all of a sudden they're paying whatever they're paying for taxes, and then they get hit with the assessment?
I think there would be something in the developer's agreement, isn't there?
Well, the development agreement itself will be recorded against these properties, so it will be binding anyways. I don't know about the verbiage we have in there about making them tell those people, but I would assume it will be part of their discussions, but I don't know if if we have anything in there that is requiring them to notify, to my knowledge.
They do ask if a lot is sold and they get a mortgage on it, when they do a title search on it, they ask if there are pending special assessment projects, but if we have nothing pending, there's nothing to put on there. So it in some effect, so we don't put that on the search.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, this is Mike on Zoom. So what you're doing here is somewhat unique because typically you would have the road constructed at the time that the lots are platted. And so that would be built right now in conjunction with these lots. So what will happen is there's going to be 2 contracts that are going to be signed and recorded against the property. So I think that was Kim speaking there. And when the lots are sold, these agreements will be recorded against the property and they will show up on a title search. Ultimately though, you know, you're going to have to do the special assessment process when you construct the roadway. And when you do this special assessment process, they will be able to contest it. But there will be an agreement recorded against the property that is going to say that the developer consents and that agreement runs with the land and binds successors and assigns. Whether or not the subsequent lot purchasers know that, they probably won't know that, and they're probably going to complain to you, which is why you should make them build the road right now. But they're not willing to build the road right now. And apparently the prior council approved the development across the street without the construction of curb and gutters. So they will complain and you will have to tell them they'll have to pay the assessment. I guess that's how this is all set up. And you have what I would tell you is that you have a special assessment policy. So even if this wasn't a subdivision, you know, the city can do roadway improvement projects anytime. You probably do them every year in the city, and you're especially assessing those costs to other property owners throughout the city. And so this would be no different than that. But but there's nothing in the deed of conveyance for each of these 5 lots. There's nothing like in the deed that says the purchaser of the lot will be required to pay a special assessment imposed by the city of Zumwalt. That won't exist. So yeah, it'll be in the record of title, but you know, there's no contractual provision that would require the developer to tell the buyer that. The buyer just has to obtain title insurance and do a title search and understand what they're buying, you know, when they buy it.
That makes sense to you?
That was a mouthful, maybe a little south, but does anybody have questions about that?
I think it's all.
No questions. It just sounds like Brian's willing to take on a headache in the future for.
Well, yeah, the headache started when we allowed the other development across the street without doing the road, so.
Yeah, people don't like assessments. I mean, they always complain about assessments, even if it's not related to a roadway construction. I mean, I think it's very common for citizens to not like to pay special assessments for improvement projects. I just think that's
kind of the same thing we've been dealing with 9th Street up there by Wobeg's property. We've talked about finish that and paving that, but both sides are going to be heavily assessed. So that has been part,
When realistically could we, well, 2 questions. When realistically could we do a curb and gutter and street on that section, and roughly what would it cost?
Next question.
Jeff, do you remember, I think we had a ballpark, a couple $100,000 because it's just the surface?
Yeah, I guess
Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I guess I haven't myself seen anything.
Because truly it'll be just the surface at this point, so. Yeah, I guess don't commit me to that number, but it wasn't huge. What could aid in it is if the developer would pay his full portion of the assessment at once, then it would be less money for the city to carry. Yeah.
If it got rolled into a bond, if there was another project going on for saying you bonded for that project, you could put this in the project with the portion of their special assessments figured in to pay them the yearly bill. So you could roll that in. The problem, of course, is that you have to do the outlay first. And where is that money going to come from?
Yeah,
And,
it's a smaller project, so theoretically we could roll it into some bonding somewhere,
that
but
might be the way you want to consider it, and then that portion that pertains to that road would be rolled in from their assessments into the project, or into the bond payments going forward, because usually the assessments run 10 years. So,
yeah, there's, we'll keep looking at it, and Jeff and Kim are constantly working with the capital reconstruction plan and moving things as roads deteriorate faster than we had hoped or not. Some of them are better than we thought they would be at this point, so they can be moved around, and that's kind of how it works. We just can't commit to it right now.
So like you were saying, if they make, or whatever we're doing that, pay for a portion of it right now. And let's say we don't do it for 5 years and it's really gone up, and you can still assess then the difference.
I don't think we'd have him pay for the portion of the road right now, because we wouldn't know what the cost would be. We wouldn't know what his assessment
Well,
would be.
if he would commit to that, or theoretically, if the developer would commit to that, we would do the study and see what it was going to cost and what it would be. And, then we would come up with a portion of it. We would still have to come up with a portion of it to carry those costs. But as of right now,
But if you collect assessments today and they do it in 10 years, the cost is going to be,
You don't collect it,
no,
you
we
do
have
it
to
first
do
and
it.
collect it to pay
Yeah.
that's why I said bond
Yeah.
payment, because the bond would pay for the full construction project. And then the assessments that come in would help pay the bond payments every year, basically.
Right, yeah.
Because they pay interest when they get specially assessed. If they don't pay in full, they're paying interest on their assessments as well. So, Yeah. I just want to caution you all that there's a huge project coming, which we don't know the cost for, and that is Main Street. So you always have to keep that one in the back of your mind, because we do not know how much that's going to cost us, and I would really caution you to be very cautious to committing to any projects right now where you have to expend money when we don't have a good handle on what that project is going to cost the city.
Yep, there's several. There's 9th Street, there's St. Paul Road, there's Main Street coming up, so.
but Main Street's going to be a big project. So, I mean, these other ones that we mentioned, we may have to put off until we get a little better handle of what the dollar amount's going to be for Main Street. And they've already been pushing that. And now are they talking 2030, 31?
2030, I think, or
Yeah, I
2031,
mean,
right in there.
so that could change a year or two. So, I mean,
About the same time we do the trestle.
What portion of Main Street is going to be our?
Whole thing.
Well, crossings for sure.
Well, the cost
No.
of education that the city's responsible for, the state will pay their portion of it, and then the city will be on the hook for whatever the cost share policy says.
Yep.
and infrastructure, so we might as well replace them since they got the road tore up.
And then anything that's above and beyond the standard that MnDOT sets would be an additional cost. Because like the bridge here, when we did it, Minnesota paid for it. But any upgrades we did, which was like the railings and the lights and the things like that, that was all additional cost to the city.
Yeah, and this is a once in a generation project. It won't happen again for a long time. So we need to be prepared and ready and have the dollars to do whatever we want to do to make it, small town, Main Street, cozy, whatever we want to do. So.
And I also think the downtown businesses are gonna have some input or want some input of what the final outlook is too. So that could change. I guarantee it won't be cheaper than what they want. So, I mean, that'll be a decision we'll have to make too.
So that's coming up as well. It's all that stuff. It's all needed. It's just a matter of, we'll get going on that Main Street and all the costs soon leading up to it so we can figure out how we're gonna get there.
So let's go back to the plat resolution.
for a motion to approve resolution 2026-18. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, and I think we're trying to cover ourselves by making sure everyone knows that this isn't gonna get done for a while and it can be assessed. That's
Yeah.
what I'm coming up with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll second that.
But, and also too, to piggyback, my personal opinion, what's the chances of it happening in 10 years? I know we talked about it 4 or 5 years ago, they had talked, we had a little rumbling of doing that. And I think it was a couple people wanted it and most didn't, I don't know, so.
But I think in order, 9th Street's before that one.
Oh, 100%, so 100%. So we got a motion and a second, any further discussions?
So something like that, people down there wanted, that's the only reason we would do it, wouldn't it? Because they would request it to be done. I mean, if everybody's okay with gravel, then we're fine.
Correct.
Well, that's how we got to where we are. Rather than having a development and making sure we had a paved road, we said, okay, we won't do it right now. And here we are.
St. Paul Road's been looked at 4 times since I started. Has been proposed 4 times.
It does always-
And it's because there's always been residents that did not want to pay for that assessment for the water and sewer they went for because they were having issues down there. But the reason they backed out of that project when they did the full or the water and sewer reconstruction was it was too expensive. The assessments were quite high.
It's not gonna get cheaper.
No,
I believe it was 14th East, was that a requested curb and gutter?
Yep.
And then that, then what was assessed, right?
Yep.
To the homeowners. 14th Street East.
and they all agreed to it.
Yep.
It goes
That was,
what?
that was a request brought forth and then everyone was.
That's a
assessed.
dead end street too, ain't it, with just a couple houses? We got a motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor? I got to do roll call, sorry. Bob, you didn't get it. Kevin?
Aye.
Fred? Aye, passes 4-0-0. Thanks, Miles. Let's do ordinance 2026-06, revised utility ordinance. Kim?
Well, it's not changed since you saw it last time. Make a little side note about the paper bills that Todd came in today with a bill that he got today that was sent out beginning or the end of last month that was not even his. And so we've gotten, how many calls would you say, Miles? 100?
Over
150?
100, easy.
Yeah, because people didn't get their bills this month.
Right, bills were sent out and we don't know where they went.
Well, and that's what I just, like Kim just said, I brought one, I opened the mail, and I said, I don't get a water bill. And I looked at it, it's due in 2 days, and it was off of East Fifth Street, so, I mean, so that's one reason I want to do it, because now we're spending staff time.
And we are encouraging the people that call to.
It's cheaper than mine, I should have.
We're gonna work towards what we get rid of them
That is your decision.
then. Right. Putting a $3 fee on there. So the biggest thing is we gotta work towards like, can't have this more.
I'm okay with saying you don't have to do it. I mean, well, I kind of want to just get rid of it because it's easy enough because you can get it emailed, you can get them direct deposited, or, I mean, you can pay online. And that's kind of the way everything is. If we get down to 100 bills, I'm going to just say, I would just say, let's eliminate doing this in 60 days, 90 days, or whatever it is. But the reason, I mean, why it was brought up 2-3 years ago is I got a bill of somebody that was due in 2 days.
So
And
then-
it's an expense to a city, and I've had postage, we spend $800, and now it's city staff missed billing. So to answer your question, I think in a perfect world it would be, but I would still be okay if somebody wants it. But if we get down to not many people,
Right, and this agenda item is for just setting the public
oh yeah.
hearing
it's
where-
set-
where we'll have this
Yeah.
discussion.
I'll make the motion to set the public hearing for 6:05 PM on June 4th, 2026 for ordinance 2026-06.
You're like, make it the statement, get this thing. We got a second?
I got a second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0-0. Thanks, Kim. Ordinance 2026-08 Charter Franchise Agreement. Brian,
Yeah, this is the same one you've seen before too. We're just looking for approval. And I've also got, I put a summary of the ordinance in front of each one of you. I didn't get it in here, or in the tablets, but if you're going to motion to approve, also motion to approve the summary ordinance to be published in the paper. It's just a shorter version of this. Could be shorter yet, I'm thinking, after talking to Mike, but this is what we got for a summary because we have to publish something in the paper, and to publish a whole ordinance is not reasonable. So basically says that, kind of gives the highlights and that the full ordinance is here for review. But yeah, we went, 5% rather than 4% for our fee, which is as high as we can go per statute. Of course, I'm asking you to approve it on the day that Charter has been out for 8 hours. But that happens very rarely. Somebody hit some fiber outside of town the way it sounds. So, but yeah, we'd just like to move forward and get this. It's a 10-year deal with options for extending. The previous one was pretty much the same. And the fee has been going down. What we get has been going down because there's a lot more streaming and things like that. So,
and locals making an effort to make it quicker and faster.
Yep. So, yeah, just request approval for ordinance 2026.
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 2026-08 and the shortened version for the paper.
Perfect, thank you.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0-0. Thanks, Brian. 6F Resolution 2026-17 Public Safety Dollars. Brian.
Yes, council has previously approved the allocation of funds to Ambulance Association and the Fire Board. We have to do a resolution anytime we're moving money anywhere. So this is a resolution just authorizing Kim to cut the checks to the Fire Board and the Ambulance Association.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-17.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions? Bob?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Fred?
Oh.
And I,
Oh, yeah, good job. Never mind.
do something wrong again?
No, you
Okay.
did well. I'm sorry. That's something else
Passes
on my mind.
4-0-0. Let's go to 6G, set summer budget work session. So we've got some dates. I don't know if you saw them on there. Brian and I discussed it instead of, we can either do it, just schedule June and then first part of June or second part of June, then schedule July. And then do August, because, schedules change and things come up, or do we want to do all three and schedule around that? And I just told Brian that I'd rather do a month at a time, just because our lives are busy and summer vacations and cabins and stuff like that, so I would prefer to do it one at a time versus all three, because I hate to get to August and all of a sudden Kevin and Fred are gone for whatever reason, so we got to reschedule it then, so. So do we just want to do June, or do we want to do all three? You want to just do June? Okay, and I'm okay with that. So let's just, since July, so if you look at the dates, June 10th or 11th,
What time are you thinking on these?
kind of what everybody wants. I mean, what works.
Well, June 10th on my calendar is not a Tuesday.
Uh-oh,
I have a Wednesday on mine.
Wednesday and Thursday.
sorry.
Are we doing
Tonight is
10th and 11th? Is that?
Oh,
two
you
days?
got the days and dates wrong on the paper.
Yes, rookie. Kim, was it 10th and 11th, or was it?
Tuesday and Thursday.
Well, if you want it Tuesday and Thursday, I mean, you guys get to set which one.
I can't do Tuesday the 9th.
Yeah, June's,
We have planning commission that night.
Yeah, that, it was, so it should be Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep.
Are we talking 2 nights or Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
We're just kind of throwing some dates to kind of see what works better for everybody.
The Wednesday would be the easiest one for me to make. I'd have to,
Wednesday'd be better for me too.
I can make that work.
Well, and you can set the time.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
time?
I assume most people are 5:30 to 6:30.
That would be good for me at 5:30.
Fred, does that work for your retired life?
I got 3 softball games I gotta go to that.
Only 3?
Probably every day, huh?
That'll work.
So let's do June 10th, Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30, because we're gonna keep this an hour short. That work for you, Kim?
I can be here.
Sounded like Todd made the motion.
I'll make a motion, set a work session for June 10th at 5:30.
second,
That works for you too, Fred? And hope, I mean, if it works for Joan, I mean, and I know if we get all council for all 3 of these meetings, I'd be surprised, but just because we're busy. So I got a motion and a second to all in favor?
that's a question.
Did we have a second?
Yeah.
I seconded it.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
I was waiting for the second.
Yeah. No. Passes 4-0-0, June 10th, Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30. Let's do reports, Brian.
All right, settle in. I have most of a page here. No, I'll be quick. North Summer Sanitary District, we received $12 million in the 2026 bonding bill. Last second approval of that bonding bill, but we were in there for 12 million. Big thanks to Senator Steve Jaskowski and Representative Stephen Jacob for all their work on that, and also our lobbyists at Winthrop and Weinstein, and administrators, engineers, WHKS, ISG, WIDSEF, the technical group, all the public works directors are involved as well. There's a lot of work. There was a good chunk. We need another chunk yet, but this will get us going, keep us going. We'll provide more of a formal next steps and what we're going to try to accomplish with these dollars from the executive committee here soon. So more news coming out on that as far as schedule, what we can accomplish with those dollars. The plans are pretty much ready. I think permitting is close, or so be ready to start putting in pipes or whatever we're going to spend these dollars on, to get going. But we're still looking for other dollars. We're included in the next congressionally directed spending request. Doesn't mean we're going to be approved. It doesn't have an amount that we're going to be approved for or possibly approved for, but the federal government hopefully will contribute some dollars as well. So excellent news on that. That was woke up at 10 after 1 in the morning to check my phone because it's a last second deal, and yeah, I was glad to see that come through. The pool, in case you didn't hear, we're going to start constructing a pool pretty soon. There's going to be a pre-construction meeting next Tuesday. Demo should start soon after that, I would think. We're going to put an article in the paper, next week's paper, talking about the timeline and the continued fundraising effort. Some more details. Thank you to Kim for putting that together. Gave her a bunch of bullet items and she put it into a nice article. So on behalf of the fundraising committee. So that's a good thing. The relief and the shade tree grants. One of the grant deliverables is to keep the council updated. So I'm going to update you. The relief grant is the park grant, and the shade tree grant was the boulevard grant. We've completed all the removals of ash trees identified in both grants. We've done all the plantings. Jeff has been working hard to update the GIS with species and locations of where we planted the replacement trees. That gets turned into a shape file that I have to submit to the grant people to review. So big thanks to Jeff, and that's still evolving. One of the reasons that's still evolving is that if you recall the relief grant, the bids came in way lower than we expected out at the park, closer to 22,000. The grant was for 58,000. And the way it works with grants, is they want you to spend the money. And so Jeff and his team have been identifying some ash trees that were in the park that were missed or have gotten where they need to be, taken out now. And even in the woods, we're still debating those. But the goal of the grant is to get rid of all of the diseased trees. So we've been told to go ahead and identify more of them, try and spend these dollars. So that's what we're working on now. We've got till next June to finish up all the work and the documentation. So we're hoping to submit it all in December, be done with it and get it done. But so it's going well. There'll be an educational portion yet with the, online and other things. We did have some help from the school at one point as well. So nice to have those dollars, nice to get rid of all those diseased trees. And but administering a grant is a whole lot of tedious work. So that's all I had.
What?
Yeah, I can come up with more if you want. I could probably talk a long time.
Thanks, Brian. Mike, do you have anything? Flaherty?
Not tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Jeff?
Yeah, the water main looping project is got water flowing through across Highway 52. Schumacher's came last week and we disconnected the water tower. And now all three of the city wells now fill the GSR, the harvester silo, and we had some new programming done to those. So now they all just take turns and speak that way. So, and Scott Honeyke and WHGS, yesterday at 1 o'clock was the deadline. We had 2 bids come in for demolition of the water tower, and the low bid, I don't have I think 54.4 was the low number, but I'll have that in a memo probably for next council for demolition of the water tower. So,
Who is the contractor on that?
I don't want to speak to it yet. I'll get the
Okay,
final paperwork from him.
that's fine.
Yep, I just wanted to inform you that's kind of what direction we're going with that, so.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Kim?
Yep, we had the auditors in a couple weeks ago. Everything seems to be going well. We've been answering questions that they've come up with. So you will be seeing a report in June of the audit.
Oh, you don't want to miss that one.
Oh, and I'm working on the budget.
So
So I'm taking the first stab. Well, I'm going to try and get it out to department heads next week. So we will have it coming on at you on the work
Did we
session.
just finish?
Yeah, 3 full days Kim sat there and stared at that screen, budget stuff.
Thanks, Kim. Mr. Rob?
Nothing tonight.
I have
He was
nothing.
gearing up to say something.
Bob? Kevin?
Nothing.
Fred?
Just one question. The sanitary money that we're looking for,
Yep.
what's the total amount we're looking for?
We were looking for 48.8 or 48.6 million total. Right now, we've got 22 million from the state, and we're supposed to be getting 1 million from the federal government. So we need another allotment. Oh, well, there's another program. There's a PSIG program as well, which was funded with $30 million, I believe, by the state. We're eligible for those dollars. That's a point source implementation grant. So we're eligible for some of those dollars too. So we'll see how many dollars we receive out of that. Each community, I think, is eligible. We're all lumped into one now.
The applications all went in individually.
Yep.
But whoever's awarded will go into the same.
Yep. So that hopefully will be fruitful as well. All the legislators want to see this happen. They just haven't been able to give the whole allotment. There's other things going on. But they're all behind it, and that's why they keep giving us dollars, because they want to see this model replicated throughout the state. The collaboration is a cost savings in the long run, and a whole lot less requests for them up at the Capitol.
Anything else, Fred? Meeting adjourned.
Kevin's off to the next one.
Thanks for coming in, Trace.
There you go.